My name is Adrian Hicks Artist, and I am so excited to be kicking off
Okay, she's Adrian's
23
on.
with you guys. Everyone, please be mindful of your mics because we are recording. So I am from the Bronx, New York, and from Spanish Harlem. I am from the hood proudly. And one of the things that really hit me was with this company was the Tower Gardens. And I thought that was everything until I learned about the Juice Plus side of the business. And then I learned about being able to be an affiliate with them. When I ordered my Tower Garden, I found it online. It was a godsend. I ordered it right away. Immediately, I started calling up my family. I have quite a few family members that have a Tower Garden, and we were just blown away. It wasn't until after the fact of our Tower Gardens that we realized that it was an affiliate business. So I worked at Whole Foods full time in the supplement department. I was the person that you came to. You wanted to know what this supplement was, if you could use this medication with it and everything. That was I was that person in my department. You came to me. When I did my research on Juice Plus, I literally tried to get it in Whole Foods. I was so blue because we didn't have anything like it in Whole Foods. And I want y'all to be mindful. We are not claiming, as Beverly will tell you, any income claim. I can tell you that I was working 2 full-time jobs, one at Whole Foods and the other in the evening doing supermarket resets. And on the weekends, I was a personal trainer, and I did raw food classes. So the Tower Garden was a great fit, but in a year and a half, because again, this is not a get rich quick thing. It took me a year and a half of jumping on Zooms like this, in the supermarket, in my car driving. Like, I just literally knew I needed not to be able to work because I'm 60 years old. I don't want to work for the rest of my life, and that's the road that I was on. So I really owe this business. And I just want to say, I know when people talk about affiliate marketing, people get afraid because I was too. This business made me understand a saying that I heard all the time, but I never paid it any mind. A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A hero dies one time. And I always thought that was kind of silly because I don't want to die at all. At one of the conferences, a Juice Plus conference, amazing. I actually went up to Tim Blanks. He is the co-creator of the Tower Gardens, right? I'm from the hood, little Black woman from the hood. We have Tim Blanks. It took me like a whole day to get up the courage to speak to him and ask him, would he be able to just jump on a few minutes on our call? And it's saying came to me, a coward dies 1,000 deaths. Every day I would have been so disappointed. I would have died every day, not approaching Tim, and I did. And he was like, of course, just let me know when. Okay. So I feel like a hero. And I felt like a hero 1 billion times since I've been in this business. So I just wanted to point that out because we have a lot of heroes here, and you'll see a lot of the wonderful things as you jump on a call every Saturday. You and your guests and your family are invited. And with that, I would like to turn it over to one of our other heroes. That is Beverly and GQ Johnny Grandison. Beverly is our first African-American female NMD in the United States. Don't worry about NMD, because if you decide to join this mission with us, you will know what that is.
Okay, look guys, happy New Year, Adrian. Marla in the background. Look, we're kicking this off huge. Right now, when Marla contacted me and told me who the speaker was, I was like, what? Oh my gosh, way to start off the new year. Guys, if you aren't as excited as we are, you're missing the boat. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So we just came off of the Home and Garden Show. You're gonna hear Johnny talk about that. But I am Beverly Grandison. You heard Adrian introduce us. Guys, we do this call every Saturday. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is the spot. This is the place to be. Tim, you are in for a treat as much as we are in for a treat having you on this call. So we can't thank you enough. And Adrian is right. Okay. Just really a man of humility and amazing visionary. Because of him is why we have Tower Gardens in our home. And we love Tower Gardens, guys. You know that. So I've been with the company now almost 18 years this year, guys. And it keeps getting better every year. I got to go fast because Adrian was like, you better not talk long because I got a video to show you real quick because we don't have our towers at the house today because all of our plants are at the Home and Garden Show. So you're going to see those really quick. You're going to see the whole setup. But guys, I came to the Juice Plus store really quick and it was a medical crisis, but grateful for this community, grateful for the education, grateful for the Juice Plus product. You're going to hear a whole bunch about that next week. Guys, you're going to start seeing commercials on OWN, on TLC, the Discovery channels, HGTV, Food Network. Guys, look at prime time, guys. This is huge. So if you are a visitor on this call, welcome. You're at the right place at the right time with the right company in the right community with the right product. Oh my goodness, guys, put on your seatbelt and get in position because this little best kept secret is no longer going to be a secret. And the lives that it's been able to impact globally over the years is phenomenal. And Tower Garden globally, now in Europe and all over the world now. Oh my gosh, guys, take control of your food source, take control of your health this year, get in the driver's seat. That's what we did. And we're grateful. As you heard Adrian mention earlier, we're not making any income claims. We're not making any health claims that Juice Plus heals, prevents, reverses any disease, but we can tell you that we know the power of whole food, plant-based nutrition. Okay, with that being said, I'm gonna shut up. Let me show y'all this really quick video Johnny put together for y'all to show y'all the Tower Gardens that we set up at the Home and Garden Show. And then we're gonna keep it moving. Tim, thank you. We are excited and we are grateful. So here we go, I'm gonna share my screen.
Hello, Food for Thought family. It is a pleasure to be here with you. So we want to wish you a happy 2023. There's a lot of great things going on. We're here at the Hampton Roads Home and Garden Show here in Hampton, Virginia. It gives a great opportunity to expose many of the people to what we have to offer with the Juice Plus Company and with Tower Gardens, spreading a lot of good nutrition and just good health in general to the general public. One of the things we like to do is talk about red light, green light foods, and so we try to highlight some of the things that we look at as red light foods, especially with the kids that come through. It gives it a vivid opportunity where they can see it as visual because they're concrete thinkers and they can see how we're consuming so much sugary and acidic foods into our diets. And then we actually show them how fruits and vegetables, which are green light foods, make such a big difference in our diets every day, along with the Juice Plus product where it's just concentrated whole food nutrition that they can consume consistently, making their bodies a little healthier. Or even doing the community gardens we do with the Sound in the Jar parties is a way of building community and just give them another opportunity of ways that they can see how they can actually eat healthier very inexpensively and very quickly. So that's one of the things we do. But here for the Food for Thought, we like to talk about the Tower Gardens, and it's something that we love from coast to coast here in America. And as we even start going abroad and across the border here in North America, as well as even over in Europe now with the Tower Gardens. So one of the things we like showing is the Tower Garden Flex, which is our original version we have here. This one actually holds 20 full-size plant ports. We have the LED grow lights that we're actually growing at, so it allows us to grow indoors or outdoors. We have the lights set to come on when the sun comes up and go off when the sun goes down. So it just makes it real convenient and it gives you some flexibility. It holds 20 gallons of water down at the base of the tower, and it's over 30 inches diameter. So it just makes it so convenient to do it because we put it on wheels, and so you can move it in or out. At our home, we typically have it one in the dining room with the Tower Garden Home, as well as one with the Tower Garden Flex. This one we have a lot of chives and different lettuces and some Swiss chard, and we have some green onions and some summer crisp lettuce. That's even a lavender plant, and that's a determinate tomato, so it grows more like a bush, and you can actually do it indoors and not have it be like a vine like the indeterminate tomatoes. So we have so much fun with it. We have a lot of lettuces. I think those are some peppers we have on the back side. Deer tongue lettuce and some more marigolds we have with the color on it, and a different variety of chard. So we just have fun with what we're doing with it. This version that you see here When you first get the base model, this is also the same Tower Garden Flex. We just don't have the lights or the wheels on it, but this is what you get with the base unit. Moving here, we have an actually fully decked out one for comparison's sake. This is a Tower Garden, the Series Gardener bundle that you do where you pretty much have everything from the wheels, the lights, the support cage to it, the extension kit. And so this is one, we get the extra nutrients. So when someone's talking about fully decked out tower, that's pretty much what we're talking about here. Now we'll move over to the Tower Garden Home, which is our newest model. This one is actually 24 inches in diameter. It holds 13 gallons of water. The water and nutrient solution is pushed up through the center of the tower, and then it showers the root system as it comes back down. It has 16 full-size ports, but also has 16 microgreen ports for a total of 32 port sites. You can grow pretty much anything that's not a root vegetable like potatoes and carrots and beets that would actually try to grow into the unit, or a tree. But other than that, you can actually grow into the Tower Garden, so you have fun with it. You get a chance to grow many of the things that you want. We call it from tower to table. Even with the microgreen ports that we have here, people do a lot of the herbs and smaller plants that they like. So it just gives you that flexibility to do it together in the system that you buy, what we call the Tower Garden Home. It too has the LED grow lights that we have. It fits on either one of the towers. But the Tower Garden Home actually has two different rods inside. So what we did here is we wanted to show people that you can actually disassemble the two rods and only use the one, and you actually make it a little smaller, even though this is the same unit. Another thing that just came out with the Tower Gardens is the support gauge for the Tower Garden Home. So even if you already have a Tower Garden Home, you now can add the accessory to it and get an opportunity to use that for the larger plants. And so it just gives you all the whole world of Tower Garden to show that you can be a gardener no matter what your skill set is and have fun with it. We go over a variety of things so you can see what you can do, but you get a chance to grow a lot of things that you'd like to do. So here in 2023 is a whole new year, a whole new you, and a lot of great things about to happen. We look forward to seeing the great things on commercials, and definitely get back with the person and invite you to the call. And we do this Food for Thought call every Saturday night at 8 p.m. and we have fun with it. And so we invite you to become and join and be a part of us, and just have fun with this. Take care. This is Johnny Grandison, your GQ Farmer.
So guys, look, we are just grateful beyond. We can't thank you enough for this amazing community. We can't thank you, Adrian and Marla, for making this call happen every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with that, I'm turning it over. And you guys, look, it's going to be a powerful 2023. Put on your seatbelt.
Please help me welcome co-creator of the Tower Gardens, visionary philanthropist, Tim Blank.
Welcome, Tim.
Welcome, Tim.
Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Welcome.
Thank
you.
Love the Thank you.
That's a beautiful
Welcome.
history in those pictures, going back to some of them close to 2011. So that was so beautiful. Well, welcome everybody. Gosh, you almost make me cry just watching the dream come alive. You guys are spreading towers around the world, and for those of you that are new to Tower Garden or just learning about it, I want to just share really broad. I'm not going to be too long. I'm just going to share a few moments tonight about my background, my passion, and why Tower Garden. There was one of those slides in the video that said Tower Garden is just not a product, it's a movement, and it's what we're all about living a healthy life, taking control of our food supply. So many parts of the US, we're living in a food desert. Now, I grew up in the Dakotas, surrounded by farmers, but we actually lacked fresh fruits and vegetables. They traveled all the way from California or other parts of the world. So at age 9, you can call me a black sheep or green sheep. I decided to start our own family garden, and I rented a rototiller, and I had no idea what I was doing, but through a lot of hard work, bending, kneeling, tilling, and hours of work, I started a garden that didn't do much the first year, did a little bit more the second year, but I saw how difficult it was to garden where I lived. The growing season wasn't that long, the soil wasn't that great, and my family took and I know there's so many people here today that do live in what we call fresh food deserts. And what I mean is you can go into a local corner store, convenience store, and get food that's processed, packaged, and preserved. And that's what's giving us diabetes and obesity and causing a lot of and other diseases and causing damage to our body. And that's something I always do because my parents did like to eat good food and cook at home and things like that. And I remember being at Disney World in high school and visiting the hydroponic greenhouses at the Land at Epcot Center. And I guess you could always call me, as a little boy, I was a futurist and kind of always serious about life. I'm actually a lot more lighthearted now. I think the older I get, the more lighthearted I am. But I saw how difficult it was to garden and farm. And I remember being at Epcot, the experimental prototype community tomorrow, and going into these hydroponic greenhouses, 4 acres, seeing over 100 food crops from around the world growing, using every hydroponic system imaginable. I mean, plants growing 12 feet in the air and palm trees growing 30 feet in the air and tomatoes hanging down from the ceiling, all kinds of cool stuff. And they grew like this every day of the year and not using any harmful pesticide chemicals. And doing all this with up to 98% less water. And for those of us that are out on the West Coast, I am right now, you know, we're literally running out of water, and California provides the majority of fruits and vegetables that our country eats, guys. And the Colorado is shrinking. It's just insane what's going on out here. We're so unaware of how our you know, our own country is not in control of our food supply. But I do remember when I was at Disney, seeing these beautiful hydroponic greenhouses similar to the towers you see behind me, and I thought to myself, oh my God, I like, this is the solution. This is the future. This is amazing. And it inspired me so much. I went on to get a degree in horticulture and graduated from college and got an internship back at the very place that inspired me. Now, this is a big deal for someone growing up in a rural farm community of North Dakota. I didn't go to a big fancy agriculture school, and by the grace of God, I honestly believe that to this day. I got in and got this internship, and not because of what my paperwork said, but because of what was in my heart and what I wanted to do. And God just opened up that path for me, and I feel so grateful for that, and went on to have an extraordinary 12-year career. Now, why does this matter? Why am I here sharing this story with you? Well, there's a bigger part to the story. My grandmother, I remember, she had retired in Florida and said, Tim, I'll help you start a hydroponic greenhouse. And then when I went to leave, I did a lot of volunteering, and one of the doctoral researchers in plant nutrition and plant pathology offered me a job. And then I went on and got all these other jobs, and then eventually went on to manage the facility. Now, one of our jobs as a manager at the Land hydroponic greenhouses, every day we had to give a one-hour tour. They call it behind the seats, not behind the scenes, behind the seats, backstage walking tour of the hydroponic greenhouses. And these were, you know, we had up to every day, up to 10,000 people come through on the boat ride. But the people that paid $14 to come on that behind the scenes tour were those are the ones that were so inspired by the boat ride. They said, I want to come back and see how it all works. And we showed them how we grow all these plants using no harmful pesticide chemicals and how hydroponics worked. And I got a tour of movie stars. I remember taking Donnie and Marie Osmond one time, and they wanted to do a big greenhouse for all their family in Utah. I toured the average mom taking care of her kids at home to school teachers. And after 12 years, the one common theme I heard over and over and over and over and over was, Tim, that was the best tour I've ever been. I mean, you know, there's no other tours like this at Disney. This is real life. You guys are really doing it. How can I do this at home? How can I supplement income on my farm? How can I do this at my restaurant? How can I do this in my community? How can we do this in space? I mean, I heard all these things over and over and over, and all I could do was point them to the hydroponics store, the gift shop we had that had a book about hydroponics, and I knew that, you know, I knew that what we showed them was probably more inspiring than what they were going to get out of that book, but that's how all we had available. And in 2004, a beautiful woman by the name of Jessica came to work at Disney, and we went on these field trips, and she saw how passionate I was about bringing this to the world. She said she fell in love with that passion. We got married and we started a company called Future Growing with a mission to spread this to the world, because both of us saw that the world wanted this, but Disney, the only job they were doing was inspiring. They weren't helping us get it out to the world. And so I spent the next 6 years working with all types of hydroponic systems and vertical farming. And then eventually we evolved into, we've got to keep this fun and simple for people, because hydroponic gardening, even today, if you go into a hydroponic store, it's complex and confusing to say the least. You got a system for tomatoes, a system for lettuce, a system for herbs. And then now don't get me into the fertilizer. You got a fertilizer for seeds and a fertilizer for greens and a fertilizer for fruiting. And you have to buy all these things individually. So I remember, especially the mom saying to me, if you could get everything to show up on my doorstep, Mr. Blank, I'll buy this from you. So we started with the vertical farming, but then that was just the beginning, not getting the tower garden to work and to function. But it was spent many years developing the world's first one-size-fits-all hydroponic nutrient solution. So this is so powerful. Every picture you've seen today, every video, the van delivering produce, the chefs on the rooftop of New York City harvesting tomatoes. And by the way, that just smell like tomatoes walking near the tower, that's nutrition. Every one of those fruits and vegetables you saw was grown with the amazing Tower Garden mineral blend. And it's just, we were all about making gardening fun and simple. So I know earlier when you were showing all the different size tower gardens, well, the other thing was that you might not have noticed it when it ends up at your doorstep. Everything's there. You got seeds, you got a pump, all you provide is a tiny bit of electricity and a tiny bit of water out of your tap, and you are off and growing in one of these beautiful tower gardens. And my wife Jessica's not with me tonight. We have one simple mission statement when we founded our company, and that was that we were not going to stop. We saw how easy gardening was. And normally I do an hour-long presentation. I have all kinds of pictures to show you, how easy it is to garden. It's not what we're doing tonight, but when I saw how simple it was to grow food using 98% less water, 90% less land, with no harmful, you sit back, relax, read a book, and literally watch your tower garden grow every day. It's like boom, within a couple of weeks, you're harvesting all kinds of crazy produce. I saw what we were doing at Disney, and I said, the future's here and no one knows it. And it's about getting this out to the world. Got these food deserts are one thing. There's people on this call that live in food deserts, but you can live in Winter Park, Florida, in a really ritzy area and go to the store and even Whole Foods, 50% of the food is processed, packaged, and preserved. You have to literally walk through and pick organic produce. And by the way, organic produce coming from Mexico ain't organic produce. And I'm going to leave it there. And the USDA is going to slap my hand for saying that. But if you've ever seen what's in the water in Mexico and other countries, and that's what's being used to grow organic produce, it's not organic. And so I'm all about, food security, food safety. We got the war in Ukraine, we had the pandemic, and we saw in one single day our grocery stores were empty and food's not available that easy. So I just always thought it was a privilege to show people how they can be in control of their food supply. And when we really got the tower garden, the package, the nutrients all perfected and all this kind of stuff, it took a little bit more time. We didn't have, today you've got all these angel investors and Shark Tank, and we didn't really have all that back then, and it wasn't real easy to get a new product off the ground. And a lot of people laughed at me and thought it was silly. And why do you need that? You can go to the grocery store. Well, now we all know more than ever exactly why we need it, because there wasn't any food in a lot of places during the pandemic, and good food in particular. So it just so happened that Juice Plus, the Opryland, got flooded out fall of 2010, and they came to Orlando, Florida. And the founder, Jay Martin, came over and saw some of our beautiful tower gardens and said, man, I have been looking for this product for the last 10 years. And this is something I've wanted to bring. I've wanted to take the fruits and vegetables out of the capsule that's in the Amazing Juice Plus product and put it right in people's homes. And he was so thrilled with it. And what excited me about the opportunity of partnering with Juice Plus was that hydroponics at the time, it kind of still is for a lot of people, it was new, it was different. And, you know, we looked at getting into Home Depot and Lowe's. And if you've ever been to a garden, I know I don't have an audience here, but if I said, raise your hand if you've ever been to Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart and looked at half the plants are wilted, dead, not being taken care of. You know why that is because the farmers have to take every one of those plants back that are dead and pay for it themselves. And so they don't spend much money taking care of their plants, and that's not green, that's not sustainable. And I knew that selling something on, I knew that Home Depot and Lowe's wasn't the place for it. And when I met this Jan Young and then other people like Beverly Grandison and so many others who had dedicated their life, Juice Plus is one simple mission, you know, inspiring people with healthy living around the world through whole food nutrition. I'm like, holy smokes, this is an army of vegetable people inspiring people how they can live these healthy lives and be free of disease by our food as our medicine, by putting clean food into our bodies. And so that's how Future Growing came to Juice Plus in 2011. And it's been an extraordinary partnership ever since. Everyone on this call is so blessed because this is one of the best presentations of Tower Garden I've ever seen. You saw all the different sizes and types of tower gardens. You saw a tower garden farm, and that's what's cool. Think of one single tower garden as like a Lego. And we have people that started out with one tower garden, and then they had 2, and then they had 5, and then they're feeding their cousins and their grandparents. And then they started a community garden. And some of those same people started a farm. And, you know, I think every day now we have a farm going in somewhere around the world. So it's so exciting. So as I said in my opening talk, the Tower Garden is not just an amazing product, it's a movement. And it's really about, you know, for people who, and I know there's some of you on this call tonight who you felt powerless. You know, you walk into you've got some health things going on in your life, and I've been through my own. I have chemical sensitivity and allergies, and learning about low sugar and low carbs and getting fresh fruits and vegetables into my diet was part of changing my life and my health journey. And I'm in my 50s now, and you know, climbing 13,000 foot mountains every summer. That's my passion, is climbing and hiking. And I feel it's a privilege that I've built my body into a place that I can do that with my nutrition. And so it brings a lot of joy to me that if I could take a tower garden that you saw, the indoor tower garden home is a 24-inch footprint. So you can replace a lamp, an end table, something simple in your home, and put in this beautiful tower garden that uses the same watts as 2 kitchen can lights. 265-watt lights is all the tower garden uses, and grows beautiful, beautiful produce. A tower garden flex for outdoor growing takes only a 30-inch footprint, and grows 28 beautiful plants outdoors. So in just a small amount of space, we've eliminated the bending, the weeding, the tilling, the nasty chemicals, the traveling. Our own government says that fresh cut leafy greens and vegetables lose up to 50% of their nutrition from field to table. That's horrible. So I always tell people, the number one thing people say to me, and I know those of you growing in a tower garden, I know you're on mute, but I know you're screaming right now at the top of your lungs when I say this. You can smell lettuce when you walk up to a tower garden. I always tell them, they say, why is that? I never even knew lettuce had a smell. That's the nutrition. As a degreed horticulturist, I can tell you, we've done clinical studies on how amazingly nutritious the tower garden is. But I said, I don't have to do the studies to tell you that the aroma of a plant is an indicator of nutrition. So when we're giving that plant everything it needs in the perfect volume, guys, you don't have to figure it out. We put in the Tower Garden mineral blend, and you pour a tiny bit of concentrated mineral into your fresh water. And that's what nourishes the plants with everything they need to grow perfectly. And whether you're growing basil, I know I recently had visited our Bell Book and Candle in business now for a decade in Manhattan. The Bell Book and Candle, Google it. It's super cool. They have 60 towers on a roof, feed an 80-seat restaurant every night for dinner. And they were, they have a little bar in the front. They were grinding some of that Granny Blanc spearmint in a mortar and pestle and throwing into one of their mojitos. And the entire restaurant smelled like mint. And that is just a great indicator of nutrition. And I couldn't be more happy to empower people. Now we have this army of people. Well, you know, what's our company all about? I know everybody came to the Zoom through a different pathway. And I think very differently than many of the leadership on the call presenting tonight, because I'm someone who's working on our future. I'm working behind the scenes a lot. I'm speaking publicly, but I can tell you that what inspires me and what brings me to tears, it was hard not being emotional in this call, looking at the history and seeing the beautiful faces. I know Beverly, the first time I met you all there at our national conference, and the beautiful, all of us being back in Atlanta and being asked to speak, and just love you all, appreciate you all so much. But what's really neat is we have this army of people, and all they are is just passionate about transforming your life and empowering people. Very similar to what Elon Musk has done with electric cars. He's just so brilliant and inspiring people that we don't have to breathe gross smog every day. That's what electric cars are all about. And some people don't understand that. It was about, we can live in cities with crystal clean air if we're not sitting in traffic, spewing all this smog into the air. And that's where electric cars, you know, are really the bang for the buck. And so everybody does it for a different reason, but I can tell you, every good habit that you do in your life starts with one simple decision. What am I going to do? And when I started doing this, with my members of my family, I brought a dang tower garden to their backyard. And I said, you're doing this. You know, so I was probably a little bit more forceful. I'm not like some of these other guys out there, they're a lot kinder. But I really believe, you know, if you start with the garden, it's a lot of fun, and you just start, you know, within 1 week you transplant some basil and you start pinching some leaves and you make some spaghetti sauce, even if it's out of an organic jar, who cares? Throw some of those, just a few basil leaves and the fresh chives, and all of a sudden it no longer tastes like it came out of a jar. Just little things like that make such a difference. Being able to harvest a salad every night for dinner, which we can do off of a single tower garden, or add fresh kale and chard to your smoothies, or juicing every day. Those are just some simple things you can do. And then after doing that, you know, just for a month or 2 or 3, you're going to get on fire and you're going to say, gosh, I want to eat a salad. It tastes good. I want to make that smoothie. It tastes good. I'm going to make that healthier instead of, you know, I'm not an extreme guy. Jan Young always taught me about the 80-20 rule. Try to keep 80%, you know, in the right bucket, and you can be that 20%, you know, cheating. And that really always stuck with me. That made a big difference in my life, because we don't have to be perfect. We need to be the majority in the right bucket. That's what it's all about. And what happens is when you start growing food like this, and I can tell you, this is the honest to God's truth, the number of people that said, I remember Kim Barker in Phoenix said, I couldn't grow a cactus in Phoenix. I mean, there's cactus growing everywhere. And this mom says, I couldn't grow a cactus. I killed cactuses, but I can grow in the tower garden. And she's like, literally, and I know there's great people doing great things on this call, so many of you, but this is a great example. This mom turned B-rated schools in Phoenix, Arizona to A-rated schools. And now I think 24 schools in Arizona have, I mean, their entire school, their bulletin, their curriculum, everything, they're part of their STEM programs. It's just amazing what we see going on. And so that's probably my message to you tonight is start growing in a tower. And if you're afraid or you've never grown before, there's a whole bunch of people on this Zoom call that have, and partner with someone and find out their tips and tricks. And don't be afraid to lose a plant, and don't be afraid to fail. Give it a shot, give it a try. And once you start growing and seeing what you can do, I've seen so much, I could tell you, and I was so, raise your hand if you love being back at our national conference, hugging everybody in person. We're a company that we love on each other. It's where we do lots of hugs, and it was so great. You see people come in and said, I want to tell you, I love the products the company that has, but they give me a big hug and say, Tim, I just want to let you know, and they're kind of whispering, I came in through the Tower Garden door. I learned about the tower, and I learned about growing my own food. I never believed I could have a garden. I live in Chicago, or I live in North Dakota where it's winter 9 months out of the year, or Alaska, and I grow a Tower Garden home indoors, and you've empowered me to do this. So I want to leave you with this message, is that let the passion bubble up naturally, and you will hopefully not only love growing at home, but want to share this with the world. And that's what's so fun. And what I love about Juice Plus is that we have all those videos you saw. I can tell you, this Giant Farms, True Garden, and Gray Avenue Farms. And these are people that started with one tower in a corner, not thinking they would do anything more than that. And they're literally global superheroes now, doing these urban food farms where people said it wasn't, it's impossible to grow year round in Phoenix. And for example, and we do it with Tower. It's impossible to grow in the winter in Memphis, Tennessee, where headquarters are at. We have people doing it indoors. And so I appreciate you all inviting me, and thank you for being here tonight and I know everyone's busy, and taking your time to hear me talk. And really the real heroes are every single one of you that got on tonight. I want to do something different in my life, and the people who shared all those videos. So you're the Army. So thank you.
Tim, this is Jonathan Nazir. Jonathan Nazir just brought 50 Tower Gardens, and he has a 50 Tower Garden farm in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and he is creating food sovereignty, and he is creating jobs for people.
Jonathan Nazir, nice to meet you. So are you in a greenhouse?
Yeah, so we're in a greenhouse. We converted an old tennis court that we were able to get from the city for $1. And we just put on a 28 by 48 greenhouse with 50 towers. So we're in a low wealth community, and smack dab in the middle of a food desert, or a food apartheid is what we prefer to use. And we're getting ready to grow food. We're super excited, and so is the community.
Oh, well, I'm so proud of you, and welcome to we have two divisions in the Tower Garden, guys. So Tower Garden is part of Juice Plus, but we have the Tower Garden, which people do at homes, and then we have the Tower Farm. So what Johnny is sharing are the Tower Garden farms, and it's about getting, for people that don't want to go grow at home, we want people to create these hubs, and where they can get their food in their local community. And I'll bet you people at some point do people want to, when it's cold outside and there's snow, I bet you in your environment, are people just kind of begging to come in, and are you ready to start charging for tours yet? Or are you already doing that?
Ag and Art Tour that the South Carolina Department of Ag sponsors this year. So we're super excited, and we're hiring young people between the ages of 14 and 17. Tim, I'd love to share more, and maybe we can get connected, and we can share all of our great work that we're doing.
Absolutely.
Here
Just get Johnny connected with my email and phone there, if you guys can, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Hey, Johnny, rock on, man. Go keep killing it. Thank you. God bless you, brother.
Bye.
Invite a friend. Invite a friend.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Happy night. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Come
Bye. Happy New Year, everyone.
So 2023.
Happy New Year. Love all you beautiful people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome job, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rose love y'all.
Amazing.
That's the way you start the year, with a bang.
Yeah.
You too, Marla.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
Thank you
For
so
sure.
much.
Thank you, Adrian.
Hey, Dr. Ken.
Thank
You guys.
Thank you, Adrian. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank all of you.
New
Teamwork
Year.
makes the dream work.
Amen.